School-Sponsored Newspapers, Reading Between the Lines, by Brian Henry. The First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. My project today is going to talk about freedom of the press in the school setting. Prior to 1969, neither students nor teachers were recognized as citizens under the Constitution during school hours. Students had no right to freedom of speech, and the student press is a function of the educational system and was controlled by administrators solely. The Tinker Standard is from the court case Tinker v. Des Moines, had determined that the students did not give up their First Amendment rights when they walked into the schoolhouse gate. In 1969, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that students had the right to express themselves freely so long as that expression did not materially and substantially disrupt the school day or infringe upon the rights of others. Although the case dealt with personal expression, it was interpreted to extend to all aspects of the First Amendment, including freedom of the student press and the school-ran newspaper. The Tinker Standard maintained that scholastic newspapers were free to publish anything that was not libelous, not obscene, and which would not lead to material and substantial disruption of the school day. Another court case in 1988, Hazelwood v. Kuhlmeyer, the Supreme Court ruled that school officials had the right to censor or prevent the publication of information in school publications if they had legitimate pedagogical reasons for doing so. Thus became the issue, is the newspaper school-based curriculum or not? Meaning, would it be considered an open forum? A newspaper produced as part of the school's curriculum may not enjoy the same privileges as one produced outside of the school's curriculum. School officials may incur more liability, however, with a school curriculum-ran newspaper. Thus, the administrators have more say in what is and what is not allowed in the newspaper. A newspaper not deemed as part of the school's curriculum has greater freedom. School officials may incur less legal liability through an open forum type newspaper. At the three schools that I've taught at, the student-ran newspaper was all curriculum-based, therefore administration did have final say if they felt something was not worthy of being published. What does the court think? The court's view today is that school publications have the responsibility for providing a forum for students to express their ideas and views. It is intended to represent a forum for student expression. Those responsible for its production should be mindful of their obligation to be responsible to rules of journalism and the editorial policy. Just because you're in the newspaper class doesn't give you the right to publish whatever you want. The faculty advisor. The primary responsibility of the faculty advisor should involve providing advice with respect to form, style, grammar, and appropriateness of material. The faculty advisor may not be punished, demoted, or dismissed for allowing constitutionally protected material to be printed that may prove distasteful to school officials. What I see from this section dealing with school newspapers is that as a former yearbook teacher, not a newspaper teacher, but yearbook teacher, and as a current web page design teacher, I deal with student articles all the time. I have always maintained that my top priority is to give advice on the form and the function. We talk a lot about page layout and design and how does the information look on the printed page, not so much as to what is on there. My second priority, though, is to make sure that no articles are obscene, according to current legal definitions, or libelous, that they create a clear and present danger of the immediate and substantial physical disruption of the school. So in other words, is it going to cause a riot if this is published? Is it going to cause students to have a form of some sort in the hallways and therefore be in the way and cause dangerous situations? Are they going to be an invasion of privacy? Or they're going to advertise illegal products or services? So as my main point, as I stated, is I'm all about helping students with the form and function, but I'm also there to kind of do the checks and balances to make sure that the ideas that they're wanting to get across are correctly done so. Standard 5, I feel, goes right along with this. Standard 5 states that a school administrator is an educational leader who promotes the successes of all students by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. So if you do have a school curriculum-based newspaper and the administrator has the last final say of what is put into the paper, I believe that as an administrator dealing with student-ran newspapers, you need to be fair and ethical. You're going to have students that tackle difficult issues at some point or another, and those issues sometimes need to be put out there to the student body. Acting in a fair manner with integrity will help you decide if and what information should or should not be ultimately published. This last slide is just a flow chart that I found on the Arkansas Department of Education website. It kind of is a guideline going from Tinker or Hazelwood. It begins at the far left. Can the publication be considered school sponsored, in other words, curriculum? Or has the school lent its name and resources to the publication? If yes, then you go to the next question. If no, then you have the Tinker standard. Moving down the first column, can the publication be described as part of the school curriculum? Is it created to impart skills? Is it supervised by a faculty member? If yes or no, where do you go? Has the publication been opened up as a public forum? Do students control the content? Yes or no, where do you go? So it kind of gives you a guideline and a basis on to, do you have censorship by the administration or not? Or is it the students who control it, and are they ultimately responsible? The references I use the Essex Teacher's Pocket Guide to School Law, and I also use the ADE Distance Learning Center website, Arkansas Department of Education. Thank you.